Hello again. Let's do more business news. Managing Director of GIHOC Distilleries, Maxwell Kofi Juma, says the company is producing more plastic for health reasons. He says although producing with regular bottles is very expensive, it is healthier. Mr. Kofi Juma says the company has come from a struggling background but has made significant stride within the last 3 years. Here's a report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
Mr. Juma commended the brains behind the establishment of GIHOC, adding his outfit would not let them down. 3 years into his administration, he says things have changed and production levels have shot up to about 400%. He says many more people have been engaged with improved remuneration for workers.
In spite of the very high cost of producing in glass bottles, don't forget, the glass bottles we import. Now, when they are shipping them, they break. You still have to pay for it. During production, they break. When you are distributing, they break. These are all waste. And when they break, they go with your alcohol. And it's very expensive to produce in glass bottles. But yes, because we looked at the risk factor that comes with, serving alcohol in plastic. Not promotion of alcohol.
Media advertisement during the day.
Yeah, because they are afraid that will get to the kids. But if we drink alcohol during the day, nobody can ban that. They cannot ban it. Nobody can ban it. It's just that you say for the interest of our kids, we should not be advertising to encourage kids to be drinking alcohol. The authorities and try to fashion out a way where everybody will be okay. Because it's not only affecting us.
Mr. Juma further explained the company's staff have worked extra hard to create a reputable brand across the regions.
We started with West Africa. Of course, we needed a base. And we knew that in Liberia, Mandingo was the favorite drink. Indeed, the president of Liberia drinks Mandingo. So we went there. And then from Liberia to Nigeria. And then, of course, to Cote d'Ivoire. Now we are trying to move to Southern Africa, China, US, and definitely Holland. We've started the process, and hopefully by the middle of the year, GIHOC will have offices in those countries.
Mr. Juma says he has no regrets taking over the almost defunct distillery at a time relatives were not pleased about the situation.
All right, let's go to the commodity market now, where Brent crude dropped by -$0.50 to sell at $64.70 a barrel. The update of trading activities is up next in Commodity News. In other news tonight, GRA issues 3.74 million tax identification number. Have details plus more coming up in the local news summaries.
The Daily Graphic reports that Ghana Revenue Authority GRA has issued 3.7 million tax identification numbers to individuals since it started issuing the numbers in 2012. Last year alone, it registered 1,374 million people for the tax identification numbers, following heightened sensitization and various measures to compel compliance. The ARB Apex Bank Limited has advised boards and managements of rural and community banks (RCBs) to strengthen their internal control systems and adhere strictly to sound governance standards to guarantee their survival. The Apex Bank said it was critical RCBs ensured compliance of statutory and regulatory requirements because that is the only way to ensure that the banks survive the ever-changing banking landscape in Ghana. Solidaridad, a non-governmental organization working to transform the agricultural sector, has launched the National Initiatives for Sustainable and Climate-Smart Oil Palm Smallholders (NISCOPS) to support sustainable climate-smart production of the tree crop. The NISCOPS is a 5-year strategic program aligned with existing national climate policy frameworks, such as Ghana's nationally determined contributions to climate change, environmental, and spatial planning legislations.
Leadership of Sokoban Wood Village is advocating a review of some demands under the voluntary partnership agreement expected to come into effect this year. Ghana and the European Union signed a voluntary partnership agreement in 2009. Mohammed Kamil Ishaq is executive member of the Sokoban Wood Village. He tells Prince Apia implementation of the agreement will render many of the wood workers jobless.
When it starts working, the VPA, it will impact negatively on the local market, because I think the local market is not that prepared for the VPA, and the information given to the local market hasn't got down to the operators. Yeah, even though some of the leadership have the information, but if you go down to the people today asking them about the VPA, I think about 80 or 85% will tell you that they haven't heard of the VPA, or they have heard of the VPA, but they don't know what the VPA is. And a lot of people will be wiped out of business. You see, so I think it will impact negatively on the local market.
For business?
Yeah,
okay.
Because the inflow of lumber will be reduced drastically due to the measures put in place per the laws, regulations of the VPA, because we have the wood tracking system and other things that is captured in the Ghana Legality Assurance System, the GHLAS. So you have to work within the laws of the GHLAS, from the sourcing of the timber in the forest to the log yard or the sawmill to the local market or to the export market. The laws have been laid down in which you have to follow the laws. So working within the laws of the requirements of the law is going to affect business. We were in chainsawing, and this VPA thing come that we should all work under the law. So working under the law, it means we have to change from what we are used to. So it's a problem. It's a problem. And even just like he mentioned, the sawmills who are going to supply the local market cannot. The sawmills are not enough to supply the local market.
It's a pleasure having you tonight on Business. I am Sandra Esinam Afeno. For more news, do log on to our website, myjoyonline.com/business. Do have a great evening.